Unfortunately, we have this stereotype in America that if you're smart, you must be, geeky or nerdy or boring. So people tend to isolate you. But I found a niche in the marching band. Just because you're a marching band person, they call you a band geek. So I was not only a nerd, but I was a geek. But I had my circle of friends, and when you're smart, you can either hide it and goof off and dumb yourself down to be accepted by people, or you let it shine. And trust me, if you guys have aptitude, you should let it shine, because it will serve you well for the rest of your life. I actually joined the military while I was in college. I had a scholarship to go to medical school. So in other words, I signed on as a second lieutenant, I signed on as an officer, and they agreed to pay for my medical school education. But while I was going to medical school, every summer I spent on one Air Force base or another in Texas, learned how to, not to fly a plane, but I actually did get to fly a plane. They take you up in trainer jets and you get to take over the controls. You learn a lot about, you learn how to become an officer in the service. And then I did my residency in the military. So I worked in a military hospital, and then I spent 4 years after my residency paying back my time. And some of the best times of my life. Got to travel, see the world. I lived in Japan for 3 years. It was really a lot of fun. When you're an officer, you have to learn how to become a leader. Because eventually you are going to lead somebody. So I ended up being the director of the clinic that I was in, and eventually the director of the entire department. So you learn that, but you also learn a lot of life skills. You learn how to deal with people who are higher ranked than you, who you don't respect. You learn how to deal with that. The one thing I have to say that I didn't like about the military was because it not only encourages, but it demands conformity. And if you have a problem with somebody who's a higher rank, you have to keep that to yourself. And I know you guys hear all the time on the news about the captain or lieutenant that's in charge of something, and he's the one who gets thrown in jail while the higher ups, who supposedly didn't know anything about it, go scot-free. Well, trust me, they knew about it and they let that person take the fall. And that to me was a very difficult thing to deal with. I think the question is, how has a mother helped me dealing with my own family? Because when I was a resident, we took care of a lot of pediatric patients. In fact, we were the people who parents would call on the phone and say, my baby is constipated, what do I do? Or my baby has a fever, what do I do? Or he's got these bumps on him. And we were really good at giving advice. Oh yeah, do this, no problem. Well, when you're a mother and your baby's constipated, or your baby's got a fever, or your baby has those bumps, that's a totally different story. And I didn't realize how much of a better doctor I've become now that I've become a mother and dealt with all that stuff. It's really easy to tell someone, oh, colic, your baby will get over it. 3 months of crying, 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. Don't worry, in 3 months it'll be over. But when it's your kids screaming their head off for 3 hours a day, which feels like 24, that's not a consolation. So you learn a lot of empathy. The different stages of your life, you define success differently. At my age, I think of success as knowing that I've raised my children to be the best people they can, and also feeling content with the person that you are. You can be successful in business and have a ton of money, but still be an unhappy person. You can be rich beyond your means, or famous, but if you're not happy with yourself, you're not successful. You're always going to be miserable. So I think just knowing the person that you are and being okay with that is being successful. And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. Work in progress.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Spitia.
Hi, my name is Ariana Fernandez.
Hi, my name is Edgar Bedira.
Hi, my name is Juan Cardenas.